So, over the last couple of weeks, I've been gradually chipping away at the Object 260 Tank Destroyer missions. Now, I've done some of the ones which I think are probably the most difficult ones, but now I'm stuck with probably the most difficult one. So, as you can probably see here, I still have two missions technically to do down here, but this one here is just kill 5 tanks. Really not that difficult. They just need the right circumstance, and you can easily get that one done. This one here, destroy 3 enemy heavy tanks and then do 4,000 damage. Jagdpanzer 100, no problem. Or Death Star, no problem. Tank Destroyer 8 though, you can't exactly rely on just top tier vehicles. You actually need to go down to tier 6 in order to do this mission with any sort of consistency, or tier 8. My initial idea was actually to go to tier 8 and use the ISU 152 for this mission, because you need to do 5 times the health of your tank in damage. However, I've forgotten that the ISU 152 it underwent a change a while ago, where it lost its BL10, which is not really much of an issue. It's 260 penetration, is still monstrous for this tier, but it also had its health buffed by 190, because this thing used to have 1,010 health, but now it has 1,200, which basically means that I don't really think it's going to be particularly likely you'll be able to do that mission with this tank anymore, because if you think about it, that means I need to do 6,000 damage in this thing in order to do that. And considering the accuracy and the aiming time of this gun, I don't think that's particularly likely. So I'm going to rule out the ISU 152 now, because it's just got too much health to really reliably do this here. If it was 5,050 damage that I needed, I could say like, oh yes, ISU 152 shouldn't be too much of a problem. Probably just take a few attempts, but I'll eventually do it. But with 6,000 damage, I don't really think that's particularly likely, because my highest damage game in this thing I think was like 5,600. So next choice is going down to tier 6, because tier 7 just in general, they have really underwhelming guns. The only real exception to this is the Challenger, but the Challenger is bad for other reasons. Most other tier 7 tank destroyers just have garbage guns, so I'm just ruling out tier 7 because of that. And also you have a unnecessary health point increase, which is just going to make your mission more difficult to complete. So next option after that there is obviously tier 6. So I have 3 of them in my garage here at the moment. The Dickermax, the Hellcat, and the WZ-131 GFT. And I feel like the GFT would probably be fairly good this year if I had a better crew, because my crew right now, I don't have 6th Sense on it, and it's all spec towards repairs, because, well, this is my crew from my WZ-120 1FT, the tier 8 premium, and having camo in the tier 8 premium, it would be kind of useful, but it's not as useful as repairs, so I'm training that up first. Whenever repairs is finished being trained up, camo will obviously be next, but for now that kind of limits this thing's capabilities and makes it a bit weaker than it otherwise would have been. However, when it comes to other options, you have things like the Hellcat and the Dickermax. And also people recommend the SU-100 as well, because that thing has a brutal alpha damage of 390. And it also has pretty low health of 580. I mean, it only has 10 more health than the Hellcat, and it has a way higher alpha damage gun, so that thing could in theory be a very good option, but I've kind of avoided the SU-100 for now, because next up on the top of the tree is actually the Object 268, which means I can actually get it for cheap once the Object 268 comes up as top of the tree. So I'm going to wait a few days before I decide to get an SU-100, and who knows, I might get lucky in the next couple of days and actually manage to complete it in one of these vehicles. But for now, I think I'm going to try out the Dickermax here, because the Dickermax, I feel like it's the one I'm most likely to do this in, because it has a 300 alpha damage gun, 8-second reload, 15 degrees of gun depression, okay aiming time, and decent accuracy. Like, it actually seems like a relatively well balanced vehicle for this sort of mission. So I'm going to jump into a battle here in this thing here and see how it goes. Now, the amount of damage I need to do in this thing, and it's the same for the I've forgotten this name already, I'm just going to call it the GFT. The damage needed is the same for this and the GFT, because they have both got the same health pool. For the Hellcat it's a little bit more, it's about 100 more, because it has 20 more health. So this thing here needs 2,750 damage. The Hellcat needs 2,850, and if I had the SU-100, I think it would take 2,900 damage in order to complete the mission. So I think if you're able to keep the amount of damage that needs to be done under 3,000, I think that's probably the best thing to do, because 3,000 damage. Considering tier 6 tank destroyers are kind of a little bit overgunned for their tiers typically. I mean, people often say the Hellcat's just better gun-wise than the T25/2 that comes after it. And it's also, a lot of people would argue, a better platform as well, because T25/2 has useless armor that has no real bonus to it. And you just gain a little bit of health, and that's really it whenever you go to the T25/2 in comparison to the Hellcat. So, like, just in general, tier 6 just seems like the tier to do this at. Purely because like reasons like that there, but at the same time it's tempting to go to tier 7, because that way you could actually make tier 9s, and tier 9s have more health than tier 8s, as you'd obviously imagine. But at the same time, tier 7s just don't have the guns, because they're kind of undergunned a little bit for their tier. So let's see, let's head up towards this little bush here and see what I can do from this position now. So the one thing that's kind of important about this mission is just avoiding being spotted whenever possible, because if you get spotted, you will just get absolutely just eviscerated. And I think I should have been able to, yep, I fired that shot without getting spotted. So if you don't know, another advantage of the Dickermax, I'm pretty sure this thing has the old school camo rating system that things like the E25 benefit from. So if you're not sure what I mean, it means you're substantially more likely to remain invisible when you fire from behind a bush. So it's effectively like the old school version of camo for tank destroyers, which hasn't been around for years, but the premium tanks that were around before the change got to keep what they previously had effectively, which I think was a bit of a mistake on Wargame's part, but I'll exploit it to my benefit if I need to. See, there's a Chi-Ray over there and SU-101 over there as well. Can I see either of those? Nope. Nope. Oh, SU-100Y. Come on, aim. Damn it, I just snapped that shot off 100% just to see if I could get some damage out of that, but unfortunately the shot went a little bit low. I'm deliberately using camo net in this thing instead of gun lane drive, because I just feel like remaining unspotted is more important than getting potentially like one shot off with like very slightly better accuracy. Even though it's kind of annoying, like, because I feel like it would be useful to have both, but you can't have both. You need to have the rammer. The rammer's not even a question. The rammer needs to be on the tank. Binoculars are needed just to make sure you can spot vehicles at the maximum possible range, and camo net feels necessary to me because, well, it just helps you remain unspotted more often, which is always useful. And of course that shot went high. Come on, reload. Nice. Okay, I got another 280 damage into that guy. So that's me up to 860 damage here at this point. Go fire. No, nope, that didn't hit anything. So the explosion. Nah, no visual on those guys. I'm not really familiar with using these sorts of positions, so if you're wondering why I'm just kind of like looking around randomly, it's because I'm just not familiar with really using these sorts of positions very often. I figured I would just try a shot. You never know, you could get lucky and hit a tank like that, just rushing across like that. So, see, now I'm in the situation where I feel like I need to be forward. I need to be further forward, because otherwise I'm going to get left behind. I'm not going to be able to get any more damage. But the trade-off for that there is that I'm now way more likely to die because I'm not in a safe position anymore. Oh, what the hell? Interesting move by this SU-100Y, but I will try and take the damage if I can. So, let's see, they have an SU-101. I'm going to load premium rounds for the SU-101 because that thing there has pretty freaking formidable armor for a tier 8 tank destroyer. Like, that thing's part of the 268v4 line, and you can tell. Its armor's really strong. It's annoying even for tier 8 tanks to try and go through. Where this SU-100Y is probably going to nuke me because I'm driving away from it. I'm expecting a shot to land near me, honestly. Come on, where's this SU-100Y? How is he not dead yet? There he is. At least I managed to get one more shot into that guy. Please somebody else kill him. Nice. Okay, threat to my rear is now been dealt with. Now this SU-101 is not paying attention, so I can get one shot into him for free. And here's the thing, I actually strongly suspect that shot would have bounced if it had been a standard round. So I'm glad I tried the premium round against that guy there, and that guy's been dealt with. Now can I get a shot into this Chiri? No, Chiri is dead. So you can see why this mission's so hard. Like, I've done 1600 damage, I've done everything I really can in this particular battle, but I don't think I'm going to have enough time to do this here, because everybody on my team is now rushing forward. And because everybody's rushing forward, it means that, damn it, I just figured I would just try a snapshot just because the guy I thought was going to fall back behind cover. But because now everybody's rushing forward like at full speed, it means it's now far more likely that I'm not going to get very many more shots off. And the thing is, now I need like 3 more shots in order to complete this mission. And I accidentally blocked that guy unintentionally because I'm trying to turn around to go for this T-34B. That was not intentional, dude. That was 100% just what happened because I was trying to get a bit more damage out. But yeah, 2000 damage, not enough to do the mission. And you can see why this mission's so difficult, because that wouldn't have even been enough to do the T-55A version of this mission. Because I think the T-55A version would require 2200 damage. So it was the first class in this tank here for, yeah, 2054 damage. Is that the second highest damage? Wow, it's the second highest damage on the team. Not bad for tier 6. But you can see, I think you can definitely see why this mission is such a challenge. And I feel like I may have wound up just using a, I can't remember what the name of these things is, but what do you call them? Long way backup campaign order. I guess you call it like a campaign order. You could use one of those on it. Like, I have 2 of them left over, but I don't really want to use them because I'm trying to avoid using them unnecessarily if I can. But I'm also in the situation now where I feel like I may need to use it on this here just in order to like get the orders back that I already committed to the Tank Destroyer 15. So it's an awkward scenario. Like, I genuinely feel like I shouldn't use it on this, but if I manage to beat Tank Destroyer 15, I can just leave this one active in the background and eventually do it. But if I'm not focusing on it, I don't feel like I'll ever actually actively go for it. So it's an awkward scenario. I'm really trying to work out what the best thing to do would be, and the worst thing is I feel like the Dicker Mechs and the WZ-131G, both of these vehicles, I think have the lowest HP that you can get on a tier 6 Tank Destroyer. And the lowest HP I think you can get on a tier 7 Tank Destroyer, I think is 800, going from memory, because I think it's the same as like an 88, just going from memory. So I'm really trying to like figure out like what the best thing to do would be for this mission, and it's really difficult to try and think of what exactly like you would need to do tank wise, and like you have to make the perfect decisions on the map that you're on as well, and you'll need to just always be ready to like fire just fire shots and hope for the best. Effectively seems to be what I've learned so far from this year, because there's been a few occasions where I've come closer than that previous game when I was driving the Dicker Mechs, and I had been in a better situation, but because I didn't fire a couple of chancy shots earlier in the game, it meant that I was just like in a situation where it was nearly impossible. It was still possible for me to do the mission, but it wasn't realistic for me to do the mission in that particular battle. So it's just one of those things where I feel like I feel like you need to like try a bunch of shots, like in a tank like this one, something with such a fast reload, like 6.9 second reload. It's got 10 more alpha damage and 20 more penetration than the Hellcat, so it seems perfect for this, but the gun depression and stuff is just garbage on this thing. So like a tank like this here, you can afford to take the chancy shots, but you're more likely to get spotted than you would be in something like a Dicker Mechs, because of the camo this thing would have. So yeah, I've just been kind of rambling here because I'm just trying to like just piece together in my head like what I think would be like the best way to try and get this mission done. But I think when the Object 268 marathon, or not marathon, wrong word, when the Object 268 top of the tree comes around tomorrow, I'll probably wind up picking up an SU-100, and that'll give me 4 vehicles to choose from trying to do this mission, and hopefully I'll be able to do it then, just be able to just jump between 4 different vehicles, just trying again and again and again, and eventually hopefully I'll be able to do it.